Welcome to issue 305 of Critical Encounters, a podcast about Marvel Champions, a living card game by Fantasy Flight Games. Here, we take a good look at that most critical piece of the game, the encounter sets. We'll discuss those poorly understood characters' unfairly labeled villains, and their various plans to shape humanity and benefit the planet, as well as those so-called heroes intent on thwarting them. I'm one of your hosts, Lexicon, and with me is Steve. Hello, Steve.
Hello, how are you, my fellow villain?
I'm doing very well. I'm delighted to be once again here in this wonderful chair, brand new chair that we purchased just for me.
Yeah.
But it's not just you and me, Steve. We're also joined by Daniel. How are you, Daniel?
Good evening. Good evening. It's nice to be back in my home, though I'm still just all alone. It's lonely, but I had to come back from Argentina before everyone else did, so I could teach the children.
So Daniel, you were in South America while I was in Central America.
Nice.
We definitely were doing some War of the Realms stuff.
Yeah.
I think,
apparently, it was harder for you to get there than it was for me to get to my.
Yeah, it was. I definitely had some flight.
And now War of the Realms takes on a new.
That's true.
Whatever with that region.
Jeepers,
yeah, Argentina was great. Did you eventually have fun though when you finally got there, Steve?
Yeah. Minus the actual travel part. Costa Rica was great. We had a great
once
time.
you're there, yeah.
Yeah.
I did Christmas on a glacier. We were down like by the bottom of the world for a bit, and then we were in 100 degrees in Buenos Aires. It was wild. So
that's cool.
Yeah, it was a fun time. But I think Scott actually has even more people to introduce, or at least one.
I do. Amazingly, it's not just the three of us. There are more. And we are also joined by the wonderful, the delightful, the ever knowledgeable Scarlet Rhodey. Welcome.
Why, thank you.
How are you?
I try to be. Yeah, I'm good. I was not.
You do not have to try, sir. It just happens.
I wasn't in Latin America. I was in this beautiful little paradise known as Michigan for a while. So that's pretty good.
In the winter.
There was winter. But yeah, I'm good.
Have you seen the sun lately?
Yes, because I don't live in Michigan.
That's good.
Yes.
Well, we have a full house and we have a bunch of stuff we're gonna do. But before we get to any of that,
what's that, Steve?
Daniel?
Yeah,
Daniel. What is on your mind tonight?
Well, it's time once again, Steve, for gratitude.
All right.
We've got another Patreon thank you. I just feel like, my God, Steve, the money is just pouring in. The coffers must just be overflowing with all the thank yous I've given over the years.
We're trying to catch up with some of this stuff. So before people leave us.
Yeah. Well, hopefully Eric Lloyd is still around because we have a really entertaining job for him. We've already been delighted by the performance he's done so far as our SHIELD Files mislabeling technician. We've set up some audio around the SHIELD and Nick Fury. He keeps yelling like things like, "Why is Captain Marvel under S for Space Mom?" It's like 6 times today he's already said that. It's bringing us joy, Steve. Scott, don't you think?
Yes. Yeah.
Love it.
Keep mislabeling those files for us, Eric.
Eric, thank you. SHIELD headquarters is now a much more entertaining place to listen to.
It's a mess.
It used to be like blah, 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 heroes, blah, blah, blah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Now there's a little more character in the place, at least.
This is a dangerous position, too. I mean, this is like a spy in SHIELD.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Good luck on the whole cover story we gave you.
Yeah. Well, do you know that there is more going on tonight than just...
Are you saying there's something on your mind as well, Steve?
There is. I do want to say thank you to Eric and to all the patrons, but we want to also say thank you to just the listeners for listening, because we did, you may recall, in December, we ran 2 contests, and we started them, and we're going to finish them finally. The holidays sort of threw us off, but we're going to do it. We're going to finish the contests. Danny, why don't you tell us about the very first contest? Because this was yours. And this
Sure.
Yeah.
I offered up a core set that I won as a raffle prize at the con here in Virginia. And so I asked people to send in a story of who they play games with or who they think would love to have a core set, and we would send it as a surprise directly to that individual. So we've got some finalists.
Yeah, we have it narrowed down to 4, and there's 4 of us. So maybe we can read all 4, and then we'll
Let's do it.
choose one. All right, so we have 4 of these. Let's each read one. We might as well. Daniel, it's your thing. Why don't you start us off?
Sure. I play a weekly Legends of the Five Rings tabletop RPG game with my friend Brian. He's an old school L5R card game player and has played Champions with me a few times, but hasn't taken the plunge into buying it yet. I can ship it to him and then show up to game night with a deck of my own to break in his core box before our regular game.
Nice.
You know, that card game, I don't know if you ever played the Fantasy Flight version of the Legend of the Five Rings.
Yep, I have.
That was one of many games that's come down the pike over the years that I realized there's an IQ threshold for it, and I do not meet it.
Agreed. Not that you don't meet it, but that I don't meet it either. I mean, you might not, but yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I played the L5R from AEG for 20 years, like all the way up from Imperial Obsidian when it started, all the way to when they lost it, like at the end, or they sold it to FFG. And I was super excited for the FFG version, and I was at Gen Con when it released, and I played in the release event, and I got my butt kicked over and over again. And we tried it here a few times, and it didn't have multiplayer at the time, and it didn't sit. I just couldn't do it. It just wasn't for me.
But it's unbelievably beautiful to look at, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is just gorgeous. But like, yeah, I'd really only ever play with Mustafa, and each game would last about 3.5 minutes, and it would be over. And I think like the average game is supposed to take a half hour to an hour. I don't know. I'd just be like, I don't get what's happening. This is terrible.
Yep.
Yeah. But we digress.
Which is fine, because the next one is pretty quick. I will read it. This one says, I will give this to the player in my D&D group who just got into Marvel Champions. Okay, cool. Well, Scott, why don't you give us the next one?
I'd love to. My buddy Rob is really into cooperative games, but I haven't gotten him to play Marvel Champions yet. He has 2 boys who I think would love to play it with him. I think I just need to drop a box in front of him and say, here's how you play it. I like that. Get the whole family involved. That's like a 3-for-1.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Chris, why don't you give us the last one?
Yeah. Speaking of family, the last one is I would gift it to my brother, a big comic fan that needs to accept that his reflexes are no good for modern day computer gaming, and to accept his fate and move over to tabletop gaming with his older / wiser brother.
Here. All right.
All these are good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to count to 3, and we're all going to type a number into Discord, okay? Into the Minions chat. All right.
And we're just going down the list. 1, 2, 3, 4, right?
That's correct.
Down.
Yep. Okay. You guys ready?
Oh man, I relate to so many of these. That's the hardest part. Like,
yeah, well,
I have kids. I'm old.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Life's about difficult choices, Steve.
Yeah. Okay.
And here you go. 3, 2, 1. Type.
Hold on.
Okay. Chris, I almost went that route.
Me too.
But we have
would have had a tie.
Yeah.
We have a winner.
We are going to give this to someone who's got a buddy named Rob. Who is that?
Who is that?
Do you have access to that information?
I do have access to that information. All right, and the winner is sent their email. Oh boy, I'm gonna get in trouble for this one.
Oh,
Pauvre? It's like mauve, but with a P. Pauv. Pauvre.
Wait, what would Mike call him?
Pove. Yeah.
Like poor in French?
Pauvre. Yeah.
Oh,
something like that. Yes, you're our winner. I didn't get a name, I just got an email address. So
I'm not sending this to France, Steve, because we might have a second winner.
I think I did say this was going to have to be US only.
All right.
when we announced
Um,
it. So because of the shipping costs.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm a public
Yeah.
school teacher. I
Well,
can't
their email
afford
address
to-
is US based
Okay.
things,
Good.
so it's not
Well,
like
congratulations, Pov. We will be sending you that out. I'm in charge of the shipping of that, so you should get it between 1 week and 3 years.
now between now and Ragnarok.
Oh god.
We'll get a hold of you,
Uh,
or you get a hold of us. We'll get some information, and we can ship it right to your buddy Rob's house, and he'll be like, "What is this?" So
How crazy.
okay,
All
but
right.
we have another contest. Let's keep moving.
What? Oh
Yeah,
my goodness.
What?
An embarrassment of contests.
yeah. We have our Loki standard 3-packs that we brought to MCDC so that we could use them during the massive multiplayer Loki scenario. And we gave out some to our patrons, and we gave a bunch out to MCDC, like everybody there. And we still have 3 more we're going to give out. So we have 12 people on our list who wanted to win this, who didn't have it already. And we're just going to totally randomize the win, but we did ask a question.
Okay.
And the question was, which member of the show is really Loki in disguise?
Hmm.
ooh.
So who do you guys think were the choices? What do we
Well,
got?
I accidentally followed the link, so I'm not going to say. But I agree with the community.
Okay. Got Chris?
Oh,
Did you-
Which member of the community, just in general?
No, which member of the show?
broader
Of the
member
show.
of the show.
Oh,
Which member of the show? So this
Mike.
is
My answer is Mike.
your answer is Mike. Okay, yeah, Mike would be in the running. Elite minions, villains, that kind of thing.
I'm gonna go with Josh.
Okay, so the community said Mike
or Micah.
50%.
Yes.
Yeah. And then Daniel and Scarlet Rhodey, you both tied for second.
Wow.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then it was Josh and I tied for third, and nobody else got any votes. So
Must be all that shape shifting I do.
yeah. Yes, it could be. Illusion, shape-shifting. Yeah. Okay, so let's pick. We're gonna pick 3 winners. We're gonna roll. We're gonna pick some 1 through 12. And
Should I bust out my D12?
do you have one in front of you?
Right in front of me.
Let's roll it.
I rolled a 7, Steve.
7. That is Scarlet Rhodey. Oh, rigged. No, I'm sorry. I know you didn't do it. This person thought Scarlet Rhodey was Loki.
Oh, okay.
Is what it is.
Oh.
Maedra, Meadra,
Okay.
Maedra. All right.
Nice
okay.
work, Major. Chris, roll your
yeah.
D12.
Yeah.
Oh,
And if it's a
okay.
7, roll again.
I got a 9.
9. This is T. Eberly. We have
Oh, nice.
we have shipped something to Eberly before.
That team really wins a lot. Love it.
Yeah. He thought
Okay.
Mike was Loki.
Yeah.
All right,
Want me
one
to
more
roll
time.
last time? Here
One
we
more
go.
time.
Here we go. This is a 3.
This goes to Mark Best. That's a name I don't know. All right.
Nice.
And Mark thought Mike
Nice.
was Loki.
There you go.
All right.
Must be
Get a
right.
hold of us. We'll get a hold of you. I will email those out, and we'll ship you a pack of Loki cards. So Maedra, Tyler Eberly, and Mark Best, 56. So in case there's multiple Best Marks out there. So cool.
Congrats to you all.
Technically, there should be only one.
Right? I was going to say, I mean,
Yeah.
based on the word best.
Best. Yeah. Well,
That's how that works, right?
you know how language works on this game.
Fair
So
point. Fair point.
Only while we're in this,
we're talking about
While
it,
we're
that's
talking,
the best.
while we're in this podcast.
yes. All right. Well, we've done our
Congrats.
contest. We are. Thank you everyone who participated, and we'll have more in the future. So
Well,
but let's.
Steve, giving things away seems so heroic. Isn't there something villainous we should be doing?
Yeah, we should be talking about some encounter cards, which we are going to do.
Oh.
Well, we aren't going to, but Scarlet Rhodey here is going to do for us. So we are now officially starting in our Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. box. We already kind of dabbled. We talked about Nick Fury's Nemesis. So we're going to get into it. But Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., we probably should talk about S.H.I.E.L.D. What is S.H.I.E.L.D.? Who is S.H.I.E.L.D.? And there is a S.H.I.E.L.D. modular set. It's not the biggest modular set, but it does exist. So we're going to talk about the S.H.I.E.L.D. modular set so we can set up what S.H.I.E.L.D. is as we start the box. and Chris is going to do it for us. So let's go.
Okay. So this is a lot. Shield's a big thing, and it's been part of Marvel Comics for a very, very long time. And
Which is why I didn't
is
want to
kind
do
of
the
been
lore for it.
everywhere. Yep, that's fine. So I just want to preface this that this is going to be a lot of broad strokes about Shield's history because they will kind of go through most of it. So not getting like super nitty gritty. Yeah.
Sure.
So let's start with what is in a name? What is in a name? What is SHIELD? SHIELD can mean the Supreme Headquarters International Espionage Law Enforcement Division, as its original name was.
Huh.
Then it became the Strategic Hazard Intervention Espionage Logistics Directorate in like the 80s. And then finally, in more modern times, it officially means Strategic Homeland Intervention Enforcement and Logistics Division. So many ways to try to get one acronym to work,
Yeah.
as are all Marvel Comics acronyms. So, no matter its name, the organization actually first appeared in the comics in Strange Tales number 135 in May of 1965, um, and was created by Stan the Man Lee and Jack King Kirby, who created most of the foundations of the Marvel comic universe as we know. And for some context, really, modern Marvel comics started in 1961. So this is still very early in sort of getting everything. Like the Avengers were only like 2 years old at this time, so were the X-Men. So Shield's really at the beginning. And it was also during this time period, the mid 60s. In other areas of pop culture, we were getting James Bond and a lot of
Mm.
spy sort of movies and spy content. And as Marvel does many times throughout its history, wants to cash in on that. So we get Shield. Um, and that first issue uses Nick Fury Sr., who I remember was talked about in the Nick Fury Nemesis episode,
Mhm.
as your POV character. So he's brought in this comic, it's sort of half an issue back then. That was sort of the MO for Marvel. They would have like two stories in one book. So Strange Tales. I always forget who the other side. I think the other side was a Doctor Strange tale, and then Nick Fury and Shield was the other side of that for a while. But that first issue got to see a whole bunch of cool spy tech, secret things, really kind of playing off that very James Bondian sort of vibe of like secret stuff. In fact, the very first pages showed the creation of a life model decoy, which is like a mainstay in Shields and Marvel Comics, where it's like a fake robot version of a person just in case they get killed. For fans of the show Agents of Shield, they would have seen that, as well as something else that popped in the first couple pages, a flying car that just looked like Lola, different color. Um, and we also got to see our very first helicarrier was on this like lovely splash page at the time, and really really cool. Like thinking about like seeing in the 60s like this giant massive helicarrier and how like just awesome that had to be for folks in the 60s.
Yeah.
And the whole story was like getting Nick safely into the hands of Shield because he was going to become their next director. He was recruited to lead it because Hydra was around, and Hydra is bad, Nazis. And so we got this issue that was basically just a way to show off a bunch of cool tech ideas. From there on, the series was focused on Nick fighting the forces of Hydra and created a whole supporting cast for him, including some of his Howling Commandos from the earlier comics. Nick is an older comic book character who was kind of repurposed and reused in this because he's from like more of the, I think he's more like the 1940s war comics. And some of those characters came along like Dum Dum Dugan, who's an ally in our game. Um, and at the same time, the Captain America solo tales, he would become an agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., and Sharon Carter, who's his signature ally, was also sort of his handler and a major member of S.H.I.E.L.D. So that's kind of the 60s. Throughout, after that series ended, Shield was mostly just support to other series or kind of a thorn in the Avengers side because they represented the government. A lot of comics always try to have sort of a government agency that's not a real one, so that you can kind of like do whatever you want with it. And that was always Shield. It also has, which I think is on point for this box, is story, a history of being secretly infiltrated, like a lot. It's weird. The first big one was in the 80s that saw those LMDs slowly replace people and take over Shield. The series itself is called Nick Fury versus Shield, and it was really good. I read it maybe like 10 years ago, and it kind of still held up from the 80s. It's kind of moody. But what was kind of cool is at the end of that, Shield's mostly decimated, so Nick gets to start from the ground up and build a whole new solo series that took place during the most of the 80s. These are sort of storylines that I think watchers of the live action television show will kind of recognize because they were definitely influencing a couple of the seasons. So I do want to fast forward because I don't want to talk too much to the 2000s. And I think there needs to be a little bit more context here about Shield and like what the Shield in the comics was becoming. And so for maybe our younger listeners who weren't around with pre 9/11, don't fully understand its impact that it had on culture and media, as well as our safety infrastructure and everything like that. So Shield went from sort of this background government agency where they were like in kind of these blue jumpsuits with eagles on their shoulders to now characters in the art in full tactical gear. And Shield was much more present in the comics of the 2000s than they really had been prior to that. Sometimes they would just show up because of the plot or like it was a good use of them, but now they were kind of like everywhere. And at the same time, Shield became a lot more, I would say, gray in terms of the characterization of their major characters, like Nick Fury. Maria Hill would be introduced at this time period. So would Daisy Johnson, aka Quake. And they all sort of became a lot more ends justify the means types characters. In fact, Nick would be removed from his position as director after his Secret War, which, if you're curious about more, I believe I talked about that during the Lucia von Bardis episode, actually, because that's her first
Oh yeah.
appearance.
Yep. Yep.
And Maria Hill ends up replacing him, but she really could be a villain on her own. She was much more ruthless. And there was until probably the end of Shield, as we know it, for the next like 10, 15 years, Shield would see like a high turnover rate of directors. And they included some big names like Iron Man, Captain America, Quake, Norman Osborn, and an evil Hydra, Steve Rogers. And so they all sort of cycled through during various storylines that it was necessary to have sort of the government agency be corrupted or not corrupted. Um, and SHIELD in particular, under Maria Hill, was a major force during the Civil War event, which I will kind of not go into because I think there will be a lot of that with various modular sets that will be
There
talked
was
about
a
in the
whole
future.
box called Civil
Yes,
War we'll have to talk about.
lots
So
of
yeah.
Exactly.
opportunities in
There's
the
going to be a whole
future.
lot. I don't want to
Yeah.
go into that.
Yeah. Okay.
Fair.
Shield will come back.
So, yeah. And then, of course, continuing this habit of being taken over. So during this time era, Hydra had sort of been infiltrating Shield for a really long time, which I think was mentioned in the Orion episode because that's during the Secret Warrior series. And then in like 2009, after Secret Invasion, Norman Osborn, when he took over, he renamed it Hammer. Um, After he was ousted, Captain America
Wait. Wait.
came in.
Wait. What does Hammer stand for?
Oh, no idea. I didn't look up
I
that
mean, it's
part.
an acronym,
Uh,
right? It's got to stand for
oh,
something.
it 100% an acronym. That
Okay.
probably means absolutely nothing. So, because that's how acronyms in Marvel work.
Yeah. You don't have one if it
Let's.
doesn't say something.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Let's see. I don't even know if it actually
Actually, you know what? I'm
meant
gonna.
anything.
I want the listeners later on to send us what they think Hammer should mean. So yeah.
Yeah, well, that's yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
there is actually one. So, all right. And then so yeah. So after all that time, Maria ends up getting the reins again. So this is sort of the last period of Shield. But she went overboard by creating a community called Pleasant Hill, which was very like 1950s sort of town. If you've ever seen the movie Pleasantville, there's definitely vibes here. However, everybody who's in Pleasant Hill is a brainwashed villain that does not know that they are there. They are in prison, and this is their prison.
Oh, okay.
And so, Yes, she made everyone think that they were like this nice little place because in her view, this was the way to kind of instead of truly incarcerating people in like the raft or something like that, this, they just don't know that they have powers, so they can't break out. Anyway, as
Sort of
these things do in
Professor X going on here too. Yeah, we see these good guys what they do. Yep.
uh, Maria is not a guy. Or a good woman, I should say. And so this all came crashing down. Obviously, the breakout, the villains remembered who they were. Maria was disgraced and had to literally leave Shield, which was kind of all her life at this point. And she ended up getting replaced by the Hydra version of Steve Rogers. So, and I'm not even going to get into that craziness of why there's a Hydra version of Steve Rogers.
Right.
But note there was. It was a terrible thing. It's awful. I hate that Secret Empire. It's literally trash. Anyway, he would end up using Shield and brainwashing all the Shield agents. So they kind of did not like the Shield agents themselves, like your everyday folk, right? We're not becoming Nazis just because Steve
Like the
was
poor
in
guy
charge.
who has to mislabel the shield files. That guy gets brainwashed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
So he was brainwashed. Yeah. They used sort of this technology with another villain, Dr. Faustus, who like does a lot of like hypnotizing sort of stuff, and was able to kind of get Shield on his side, and then used Shield to take over the entire country and become a dictator. And so that's that Secret Empire in 2017 storyline. And so obviously Steve loses because it's 2026, and in the Marvel comics, Steve still not in charge. And after that, the public and the reinstated US government realized that Shield is maybe a little too corruptible and maybe has too much power. And so it was officially dismantled. So Shield lived from 1965 to 2017 in the comics. And so there is a small new Shield kind of forming, but it's only been in like 10 issues, I think. It's just sort of like whenever they throw Maria and Nick Fury Jr. into a comic book to try to maybe make Shield happen. I don't know. Overall, I'm generally a big Shield fan because I love spy stories, like the whole like you don't know who you can trust and all that good stuff. So I love Shield, so I'm excited to talk about it. But yeah, there's a lot of history, and I know I just sped through.
That was pretty good, though. I
decades.
think that was, pretty
was great.
concise. Yeah.
Thank you.
We don't need every tale. I mean, that'd be impossible, right? There's it's been around for 80 years, you said. So,
Yeah, and I think per the Marvel Wiki, Shield shows up in like something like was it like 2,000 issues
That sounds
Yeah.
or
about right.
something like over
go read them
2,000
all,
issues,
folks. Go read them all.
yeah,
Yeah.
which I
That's
mean,
right.
and they're in everything, and like the amount of characters who have become agents of Shield, like Invisible Woman of the Fantastic Four, great Shield agent, um, and Dazzler, Kitty Pryde, like all, I think even Wolverine once, like so many people have been Shield agents or sort of like brought in over the years, and it's sort of just been an ever-present part of the comics in the background.
Well, yeah, and we get this whole box for Shield, and like you said, they've been infiltrated, right? Like our
Shocker.
story in our box is they've been infiltrated, and yeah, so um, cool. Okay, so we have this great story about Shield. We have the Shield box. The Shield agents have been infiltrated. Let's talk about some of the cards that we're gonna get that say Shield on them, shall we? Because you'll be able to play with some of these. It's interesting. You get to battle against some Shield cards as you play. So we're gonna look at it's just called Shield Modular Set that comes in the Agents of Shield campaign box, Wave 9. 5 total cards, only 3 by title, and it is suggested to play in. Oh wait, spoiler! If you don't know who the 5th villain is because it's like been redacted and all this sort of stuff, we might end up ruining that for you. We apologize, but we're villains, so we don't really care. Sorry, not sorry.
Could we just say it's a suggested modular in the 5th
In the
scenario?
5th scenario, yeah, we will do our best to redact
Yeah.
the name of the villain at the end, but we will at some point. while talking about the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. box, reveal who that 5th scenario is. So if
It's only been a year, so
it's been a long time. So if you don't, but we're gonna pretend that the people listening don't know. So we'll do our best for a little while. Okay. So
For
these
a
cards,
very little while.
a very little
All right.
while, a pack or two, but we'll start there. Yeah. So it is suggested in the 5th and final scenario. Yeah, let's do it. Let's look at some of these cards. There is an obligation, and Mike's not here, so Daniel, that falls to you
Yeah.
to talk about.
It does. So this obligation is called Arrest Warrant. It is shield traded. There are 2 boost icons on it. It comes with a acceleration icon, and this alter ego action. Exhaust your identity or 1 shield card you control. Search the encounter deck and discard pile for a shield minion and reveal it. Shuffle. Discard this card. Okay.
Yeah, it's got pictures of Maria Hill and Nick Fury on it. Because right, Shield's been infiltrated, so the people pulling the strings are going after the heroes instead of the villains or whatever you want to think about. So you get this accelerate. It's really an acceleration, right? The penalty is acceleration. So
Yeah.
And then it's
Yeah.
very likely they're going to send the next card after you.
right, to arrest you. And I think maybe that's Scott's turn then.
All right. It's a shield trooper. It's got 0 scheme and 2 attack. It's a minion with 4 health and the shield trait. It also has the patrol and vulnerable keywords, which I think we'll get into vulnerable in just a second. And it has the when defeated response. The engaged player discards 1 shield ally or support they control. Otherwise, place 2 threat on the main scheme. Has 1 boost icon and the flavor text of just come peacefully and no one gets hurt. I've heard that before. Steve, do you want to talk about the vulnerable trait that this card has here?
Yeah, so these 3 shield troopers, let's make that clear. There's 3
That's
of them.
right. 3 of them in the set.
Yeah. So vulnerable is a new keyword that we get in the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. box. It reads, when a character with vulnerable becomes stunned or confused, that character is immediately discarded. That character is not considered defeated, even if it has simultaneously dealt enough damage to defeat it.
Huh.
So you can knock this guy out by stunning or confusing them, right? You sneak up behind them and you bonk them in the head or something like that, or you bewilder them and they wander off. So they're discarded. You don't have to face them anymore, but they're not defeated, so you don't have to trigger a when defeated effect like that's on the trooper. And the trooper's got that neat when defeated effect because, like, if you go and kill the shield trooper and you control other shield cards, they'll be like, "Hey, you're going after my own people. What are you doing?" And they get mad and they leave or whatever, right?
Yep, I like that.
Yeah, the theme is good there. Yeah.
Now, are there other player cards that also get affected by this? Right? Like, you can't get if you defeat a villain or a minion type thing either, right? Are there things that do that yet?
Are you asking? Are there player cards that
What?
are vulnerable?
Yeah, no, player cards that reward you for defeating minions.
Oh,
And then
Oh, but
in this
then
case,
yes,
the vulnerable
Yes,
ones would
but
not count for that, right?
correct. Correct.
yes, correct.
So
Yeah.
there you
Yeah,
go.
there are a few. There's like an aggression upgrade, like Battle Fury. When you defeat a minion, take a damage and ready your hero. Well, you didn't
Okay.
defeat him; you just
You
discarded
defeat
him.
him.
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
there's a lot of things like what is it, 1 by 1, the aggression
Oh,
event.
right.
That's
Yep.
it, you do 2 damage. If that defeated an enemy, then you get to do 2 damage again to another enemy, but it wouldn't work. If well, I guess
Right.
it
If
wouldn't matter.
we get
Yeah.
the point, yeah, yeah. That card
Yeah.
maybe isn't the best example, but yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they're not defeated, so you have to, you're just
Yeah,
discarding them. Yeah.
Yeah.
in a lot of these characters that have that vulnerable trait have a negative effect when defeated. So ideally, you want to discard them, not defeat them. Obviously, that's counter to things like Hall of Heroes, which triggers when you defeat an
There you go.
enemy,
That's a good one.
or Bucky Barnes, who's going to remove threat when you defeat that minion. You're not going to get to trigger those, but you won't necessarily trigger that when defeated effect like this one has, where it's like, well, you're putting 2 threat on the main scheme, or you're discarding a shield ally or support, which you probably don't want to discard. So you're burning bridges if you defeat them, so it's better if you like confuse them or stun them, and they get discarded, kind of like knocking out the good guys.
Yeah,
Cool theme.
it's a neat mechanic of showing, like, putting those status cards on minions, a lot of times you have a stun and you're like, I'm going to stun the villain. Well, in this case, you're going to stun a 4 health, 2 attack trooper instead just to get rid of it so you don't trigger the when defeated effect. So I like the choices that it offers.
Me too.
And I also like that this one with it when defeated, if you're not playing like a shield heavy deck or anything, there's still something bad that happens.
Yeah. Because not a lot of people do have shield cards out, right? Like if you're playing, I don't know, X-Men stuff or anything that doesn't have shield cards, there has to be some other effect, which is pretty good here. The threat goes up. So, and they're patrol, they're walking their beat. Yeah, cool. All right, well, we have one more card in this set, and Chris, it's your turn.
Ooh. All right. Disavowed. It's a side scheme with the flavor text. The Shield Executive Board has disavowed all knowledge of your activities and cut off your resources.
Ooh.
Increase the resource cost to play each shield card by 1. When revealed, place 1 threat here for each shield card in play. It has a hazard icon. It comes out with 2 threat, and it has 3 boost icons. This one's a main card if you're
Yeah.
playing shield stuff.
Okay, so only 2 static threat, but the threat will go up for each shield card, not just your cards, but like any shield cards, right? So if there's troopers on the table, or if the villain is shield, or whatever else, if there's other
Or the
shield stuff
arrest
out there,
warrants out.
right?
Yeah.
Anything like that is going to increase the threat, and then a hazard's always, good for the villain. And then it has this little added bonus that it costs you more to get shield cards into play, which is, I think, a great theme hit. So, and it's got to be Nick Fury's wrist, right, with his watch
Yeah, that's what I
in the
think.
artwork. Yeah.
Or Maria Hill.
Yeah.
But one of the two of them. It
Yeah,
looks
looks
like
like Fury's.
Fury's watch. Right, the card.
Okay, 3 cards. Well, 5 cards. 3 by title. Have you used this much outside of Redacted?
No.
Okay.
No, although I think now with the stuff from the Civil War box, you can maybe do a lot more fun things. Like I think at release this was kind of like this is weird. But now especially like the arrest warrant because there's a lot more, shield minions now. And things like that it can like be more fun to add in. But no, I've only played this with Redacted. Literally did today and it kicked my butt. So,
Yeah,
Well-
I also haven't really played with it outside of where it's suggested. So
I have played
Okay.
it some, but not a lot outside of where it's suggested. I like it with the new cards that have come out. So you can like take it and throw it in with, say, the Cape Killers from the new Civil War set if you've got it,
Mm.
or alongside the martial law encounter modular set,
Yep.
which has a bunch of other shield cards in it. So you've got kind of more shield stuff getting pulled. You're more likely to have a bunch of shield minions on the board. So if a card like Disavowed comes out, even if you're not playing a shield character, you might put 6 or 8 threat on that side scheme. So there's a little bit more of like stacking of those effects in there. So I like it
That's
with
cool.
some of the new mod sets.
Yeah, that's cool.
yeah. I actually today my other mod set was martial law. So specifically because I think one of the you get more shield minions for the arrest warrant, and then for options, but then also martial law has their shield minions put like other shield minions in to play when they're revealed, and it's like so you could get a bunch of the like troopers and stuff like that.
All right. Well,
They worked well
okay,
together.
so it's a little mod set. We have to rate it. Let's rate it on a threat level. A shield on
Okay.
a shield threat level from 1 to midnight. Where does this fall?
Oh,
There's 1 to midnight.
Yeah, threat level midnight? You don't know what
Afternoon
threat
tea.
level midnight is?
I know.
Michael's gone. Well, that is an interesting story. He was once the best secret agent in the business.
Parkour! I declare bankruptcy!
That was years ago. Where is he now? Well, that's also an interesting story.
It's your old enemy, Golden Face. He's after the NHL All-Star game. He's hitting a bomb somewhere in the stadium. I can't see it blown up. Goldenface has taken all of the concession stand workers hostage. Skarn, will you find these hostages and save the game?
What threat level is this?
We're at threat level midnight.
On your marks, get set, die.
Oh, yeah. Threat level midnight makes all the girlies feel alright. From Madonna to Madeline Albright. Threat level midnight. It's a threat, a level threat. He's the greatest hockey star I ever seen yet. Threat level what? Midnight. Threat level who? Michael's gone. Threat level why? Apartheid. Gotta fight it. Free Mandela. Peace, I'm out.
That was not scripted.
Oh my God, go watch The Office.
Afternoon tea.
Second breakfast.
What? I'm confused. Can we go back to the letters?
Rate it in whatever way you want, but I like the idea of like a shield threat level. Like, where is it on their dossier?
I mean, I think this one is tricky because I think that if you're not a cheaty hero, you should throw it into every one of your little shield decks that you play.
Right. Yes.
So if you do that, it's high up there. It's like, it's definitely like dinner time, not
Daniel,
from the Midwest. So maybe more like 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
Not 5 o'clock. But if you're just, throwing it, if you're just having it in there randomly or something, I don't know. It's not going to do much. I think Scott's tea time or whatever was probably right on. It's just okay. I was going to really struggle to give this a letter grade, to be honest.
Yeah. I like the idea, Daniel. If you're playing a shield heavy hero deck, replace your Nemesis set with this because it has an obligation.
Ooh, yeah.
It has, you're right. Like it becomes like, or add it to your Nemesis set, something like that. Yeah. That's kind of a neat little tweak. So, all right. Did we all we get whatever rating we could sneak in there?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's like a tea time. As far as threat goes, I don't think it's very high. As far as theme goes, I really love it. I think it has a very consistent theme. It feels good. It connects to itself. It's a nice, clean little mod set, and you could throw it into a lot of encounter decks without adding a ton of cards. It's not a lot of bloat, right? There's just the 5 little tight cards. You're going to get some more minions. They do bad things, but I agree with Daniel. You should play this when you're playing shield cards, especially. If you're not playing shield cards, you don't really care that much.
Yeah. Chris, what was yours again?
I didn't give one. I was confused by the rating system. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Yeah, no, I agree with everyone. I think if you're playing a shield heavy deck, or all the players are, this is going to impact you far greater. The game I mentioned today, I was playing a Nick Fury kind of shieldy deck in aggression, and that was obviously on purpose to see kind of what this could do. But if you're not, then it's sort of just like a whiff.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay, whatever. Cool. I mean, it is nice that all of them have something. Maybe not disavowed. But the arrest warrant, at least, it's either exhaust your identity or a shield card. So you'd have to get rid of the acceleration to exhaust your identity, or you're placing more threat. But otherwise, yeah, it's very much just for a shield hero and not necessarily for everybody. But I am intrigued by its potential, especially with the Civil War con. So yeah,
all right.
That wasn't really a rating. I don't know.
That's okay. Good enough.
Yeah,
that's fine. All right. Do you guys out there in podcast land have a rating for this? Have you been disavowed? Also, what does hammer stand for? And then there's sword and shield and mace and flail and other weapons. I'm curious what they all stand for. Anyways, if you know, you can email us at criticalencounterspod@gmail.com. We are Critical Encounters on Facebook. You can find our YouTube, Twitch, or Patreon by searching for Critical Encounters Podcast. And on Discord, we are Vardane, a Big Foam Love, Lexicon, and Scarlet Rhodey. If you like our show, tell your friends. If you don't like our show, tell your enemies. Nick Fury, take us out.
Every time you sneeze around here, some joker slaps a medal on you.
That had to be Nick Sr., right?
Yeah, probably.
That is correct.
Yeah.
I can't pull a Samuel. I'm not even gonna try. It would be disrespectful. I don't know. Maybe he's got a lower voice. Does Nick Fury Sr. have a lower voice? Is he more like every time you sneeze
He's
around
old.
here, some joker slaps a medal on you?
That's the thing. None of you mentioned Nick Sr. is basically David Hasselhoff. He played him
Correct.
once
That's
in,
right.
like a
Yes, he
movie.
is.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yep.
Yeah. Like that's the vibe. Yeah.
Yeah, because if this was a Samuel L. Jackson, you'd have to say like every time you sneeze around here, some
Language.
slaps a medal on you.
That's
So,
right.
yeah.
Every time a
Language.
snake sneezes on this
Language.
plane.
It's like-
Oh my god, I can't wait for the blooper reel of this. And Josh isn't even here.